Knicks fans are going to sleep well tonight. Because I don't know how you can watch the Cavs and Pistons play and think that either of those teams is going to give the Knicks any trouble in the conference finals. If the Knicks continue playing the way they've been playing, it doesn't matter who they play. Now, if you're a Knicks fan, you probably prefer Cleveland because, number one, you never know if they're going to play hard. They don't even show up tonight in this game. That was one of the most embarrassing performances I've ever seen by a home team in a closeout game. That was pathetic. Like, if you're a Cavs fan, how could you even, how could you trust this team in Game 7? You're up 3-2. You have a chance to close out the series and go to the conference finals, and you come out with that piss-poor performance? Turning the ball over left and right, getting out-rebounded, giving up 1 million offensive rebounds. What kind of effort was that? Again, Donovan Mitchell doesn't show up in a big game. Harden again with more turnovers than field goals. This Cavs team is like, they make you pull your hair out watching this team. So obviously you're the Knicks. You'd rather play Cleveland for all the reasons I just mentioned. Turn the ball over too much. Don't try enough. You never know what type of effort they're going to give from game to game. Don't play great defense. All those things. But then on the Pistons side, you know the Pistons are going to give effort. You know they're going to play good defense, but they just can't score. Outside of Cunningham, if you could take Cunningham and make sure he doesn't go for 45, who else is going to score on that team? Duren finally woke up from the dead a little bit tonight, but see, he wasn't great. He just wasn't terrible. He had 15 points. A lot of that was easy layups. He was not great. He won't be able to do a lot of that against the Knicks. And Harris, again, with his second or third consecutive bad game, only 6 points tonight. The Pistons can't score. Jenkins has given them a bit of a lift. He's been good for them in the 2 games he started. But if you're the Knicks, you're looking at either of these teams and you're saying, we should be able to handle whichever team we play for different reasons. I think if they play Cleveland, that'll be at most a 5-game series. I think if they play Detroit, it'll be at most a 6-game series. That's how I look at it. So Knicks fans got to watch that game tonight and be like, you're going to sleep like a baby tonight. I mean, you ain't worried about those 2 teams you saw tonight or in this whole series. And now, the one advantage, now Knicks fans are probably rooting for Cleveland tonight because, like I said, you get home court, you'd rather play Cleveland. But the one advantage you now have, whichever team wins is going to be coming off back-to-back 7-game series with very little rest for Game 1, which will now officially be Tuesday night. And if it's Detroit, and it looks like I got to look at let me look at the game time actually for Game 1, because now there won't be a Game 7 in the Minnesota series, which should make that, let's see if they put the game time up for Sunday. 8 p.m. Exactly. So an 8 o'clock game on Sunday night is Game 7. Which means whichever team wins, they will be on such short rest because that's a night game on Sunday. That's a night game on Sunday. And if it's Cleveland, they're going to have to fly to New York. And Detroit, obviously, they'd be home. But that's a night game Sunday, playing a game on Tuesday night. So 1 day rest for whichever team has to play back-to-back 7-game series and will face the Knicks on Tuesday night. So if you're a Knicks fan, you're sleeping like a baby tonight. Still would prefer Cleveland to win Game 7. But regardless, if the Knicks continue playing the way they're playing, they should dispatch and dispose of either of those teams before 7 games. Now, the issue is if you are a traveler, if you are someone who if you're in the New York area and you like to go away for the weekend for Memorial Day weekend, which comes early this year, if you're a Hamptons guy, you're a Jersey Shore guy, if you're wherever you want to go, Connecticut guy, whatever you do, Martha's Vineyard, wherever you possibly go, for Memorial Day weekend. The unofficial start of the summer, I should say. Now, if the Knicks play Detroit, you're kind of in a bind if you're going to go to these games. If you're trying to go to any Knicks game at home, games 3 or 4, you're in a bind. Because games 3 and 4 will be smack in the middle of Memorial Day weekend. Game 3 is Saturday night, and Game 4 is Monday night. Can't get any worse than that. The weekend is completely cooked. So if you're a Knicks fan and you want to go to a home game, and even if it's a home game, you still want to be in the city, right? Because even if you're going to watch it at home, you want to go to a bar maybe with a bunch of Knicks fans. You want to be in the mix, especially for the home games. You want to be out on the street. You want to be in the city. You want to feel the energy of the city, even if you're not at the games. For me, I will be at both games. So it just completely cooks my weekend if they play Detroit. Because then Saturday night, I'm going to the game. Monday night, I'm going to the game. So if I were to go away, I would have to almost leave Thursday, go Thursday, Friday, come back Saturday afternoon for the game. And still, that's just, it's a tough look. So if you were trying to have a Memorial Day weekend away and still go to the Knicks game, tonight was a bit of a monkey wrench in your plans. Potentially. But, like I said, from a Knicks standpoint, I mean, are you afraid of either of these teams? No. And Cleveland should be downright ashamed by their performance tonight. Because it's not like Detroit was great. That's the part about it. Right? That's the part about it. It's not like Detroit was great tonight. Listen, look at these stats. Cunningham had only 21 points on 7 of 19 shooting. Had 7 turnovers. Duren had a decent game, 15-11. Harris was awful, 6 points, 5 rebounds. Jenkins had a nice game. He was 15 points. Paul Reed had a nice game off the bench, and so did Robinson. But their stars didn't play that particularly well. Their two best offensive players, didn't have their best game, and they won by going away, 21. Because Mitchell, 6 of 20, 18 points, not going to get it done. Harden has 8 turnovers. And Jarrett Allen and Mobley, my guys, you have got to rebound. You have got to get tougher. You're letting Detroit just push you around in there and punk you. That was an embarrassment on the boards tonight. Jarrett Allen, 7 feet tall. He's a big man. Look, get a rebound. Cleveland should be absolutely disgusted and appalled and ashamed by this performance tonight. And their fans, I don't know what to tell you. I'd be apoplectic. I'd want my 2.5 hours back from watching that game. That was a complete and utter embarrassment. They didn't even show up tonight. And I honestly, I think Detroit's going to win now. That was the game Cleveland had to get. I don't see them stealing another game in Detroit. And like I said, I just don't think Cleveland does not have the toughness to go into Detroit and win a Game 7. I just don't see it. I'd like to be surprised, but I don't see it. Now, secondarily, on a side note, I'm going to make a comparison for you right now that's going to blow your mind, okay? Because Drake came out with 3 albums late last night. If you didn't know, he came out with 3 albums. Drake came out with 3 new albums. And after listening to them in full, and I've listened to all of them a few times now, I can give you an accurate opinion, but after listening to them, Drake is the LeBron of music. Officially. After listening to those 3 albums, Drake is officially the LeBron of music. And it's ironic because they now hate each other and they have this beef, but they really need to squash the beef because they're the same person. If you really think about it, they're the same person. They're both petty. They both have had extremely long careers and are still doing it at a high level when no one does it when no one is still at a high level at the point of their careers that they're at. LeBron, obviously, in his 23rd season, whatever, 41, 42. Drake in his 17th season. By then, most rappers are cooked. They're doing nothing. And both guys have had the exact same kind of career arc, if you think about it. Everyone thought LeBron was cooked, right? Last year, into this year. This, especially third option, LeBron this year with Luka and Austin Reeves. LeBron can't do it anymore. What does he do? He turns back the clock in the first round against the Rockets and gives you almost prime vintage LeBron and wins the series. Well, what does Drake do? Drake, in my opinion, hasn't had a really good album since Scorpion in 2018. There have been aspects of the other albums that have been okay, but everyone thought he was cooked. They thought he was washed. His last few albums to me have been mid. They haven't been his best, and it's not his fault. It's just hard to keep reinventing yourself when you're in the game for that long. But for him, they were mid. For other artists, not. For him, they were mid. Well, what does he do? He comes out with Iceman, which to me is his best album since Scorpion in 2018 and is a legitimately good album. He turned back the clock and went to vintage prime Drake with Iceman. And this is one of his better albums now. And he showed you he's still got it. He could still reach into his bag when he needs to, just like LeBron did in the first round of the Rockets series. They both did their prime version of themselves. And then LeBron goes into OKC, and they get swept. He still looked good. He still played pretty well, but he can't beat a team like OKC. And Drake did the same because his second two albums, Habibti and Maid of Honor, there's moments in there. He played well in moments, right? Road Trips is fire on Maid of Honor. Like, there was a couple other songs I liked, but they were not great albums overall. And that was his OKC series. He showed moments, but overall he just didn't have enough for a 3-album release. And we know why he did that. He wanted to get out of his record deal, as we all know. But Iceman is legitimately a very good album. And he pulled a LeBron. Drake pulled a LeBron with Iceman. You thought he was washed. You thought he was cooked. And he comes out of nowhere and he gives you a vintage prime Drake performance on Iceman. Just like LeBron did against the Rockets. When all the odds were against him. And so, it's just hilarious that those two guys are basically the same person. They've had basically the same career. And they hate each other and they're beefing. And as you know, Drake dissed LeBron again on the album. So, LeBron obviously started his career in 2003, Drake in 2009. Both came out the gates hot. You knew they were going to be a star. Best I Ever Had was Drake's first really mainstream hit. As soon as that came out, you knew it was over. If he was going to stick with it, he was going to become one of the all-timers. And same thing with LeBron, rookie year, you knew it. So, just hilarious that they have the exact same 2026 because they're the same person. So, great album. If you haven't listened to it, you should listen to Iceman. It's phenomenal. And I would listen to the other two, too. There's a couple good songs on those other two albums. But Iceman is classic Drake. He turned back the clock. Now, last thing, Mets-Yankees Subway Series started off tonight. At Citi Field, which you know, the Yankees have not played well in Citi Field since literally the last 10 years or so. They've had a losing record. I think they've lost the last 5 or 6 series at Citi Field. The Mets have played them well there. But this Mets team is coming in, and the Yankees team, they're on 2 different levels. The Yankees are a team that looks like a team that could win the championship. The Yankees are a team that looks like they could win the World Series. They're the best team in the AL by far. The AL's weak. Well, I guess the Rays are with them, but I don't trust the Rays going forward. But the Rays and the Yankees have been the 2 best teams in the AL. The Yankees, with their starting pitching, with Judge, with Bellinger, with the way Rice has come on this year, the Yankees look like a team that could win the World Series and end their drought. And the Mets, on the other hand, have been in the opposite direction. They haven't beaten a winning team since March. They finally won a series, and they beat the Tigers, who have been terrible and are missing half their team. Lindor's out. He's on the shelf for a long time, it seems. Polanco's out. Robert's out. They have plenty of... Bichette doesn't look like Bichette. They've had about as bad a start to the season as you could ever have. Now, they did have a couple kids come up. Benj plays, obviously, since the beginning of the year, and now Ewing, who looks like a player. I think Ewing could be a really good player. He looks the part. And they're going to play these kids with them and Soto in the outfield. That's a nice-looking young outfield, and you have something to look forward to. But right now, they're just not there. They can't score. And they face Schlittler tonight, who's been obviously, he's the Nolan McLean of the Yankees. He's that good. Might win the Cy Young this year. That's how good he's been. But the Mets couldn't score. Soto hit a solo homer. That was pretty much, you got Yankees win 5-2 in the opener. And what happens to the Mets? More bad luck. As if they needed any more bad luck than they already have. From their fans. Their fans lost all their favorite players this year. They lost Alonso. They lost Nimmo. They lost Diaz. They even lost McNeil. They lost all their guys. They came into the season with some new toys. They gave you Benj to start the year. They said, here's Bichette. We spent a lot of money on him. They traded for Robert. He's always had a talent. He just hasn't put it together. They did some things. They traded for Freddie Peralta. And you said, all right, I lost all my guys, but maybe there's something there. Every one of those guys, except for Peralta, has been a disaster. Every one of them. And Benj has started to hit in the last few weeks, so he looks like he's trending in an upward direction. But he started the season slow. Bichette's been a total disaster. Robert was not good and has been injured. Peralta's been fine. He's been what you expected. It's been pretty good. Their starting pitching hasn't been the problem. They can't score. And now tonight, more bad luck. They lose Clay Holmes, who's been their best pitcher all year. He's been sensational. He breaks his fucking leg. And he's out a while. So now they lose their best pitcher. They don't have one of their best hitters in Lindor. They don't have one of their other good hitters in Polanco. They don't have their center fielder in Robert, although, they have the kids now, so who cares? They have just been, everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong this year. And they lose the first game of the Subway Series. And look, the Subway Series is always a big deal. No matter what team you root for, it's always a big deal. To the Yankees, they feel extra pressure because they feel like they need to beat the little brother. And especially this year when they've been such a good team and the Mets have been bad, they feel extra pressure. They have to win those games. And for the Mets, this would have been a big game for them. It's a big series for them to say, you know what? Let's get some good feeling going. Let's win the Yankees series. And then that gives us a big jolt to the fan base. Well, game one did not start off well. A listless performance. Their best starting pitcher breaks his leg. And they basically score one run. One they scored in the ninth inning when the game was pretty much, it was done. I don't know what, if you're a Mets fan, we'll see what happens tomorrow. It's Rodon, I believe, versus, I think, Christian Scott. And then Sunday is Weathers for the Yankees versus, I think, Peralta, but I have to double check on that. Can the Mets win that? This was the game the Yankees had to get if they were going to, win the series or sweep the series because Schlittler is their best pitcher. This is the one that the Yankees were going to get. If the Mets had gotten this one, you would have felt good about it. Now the Mets have to win the next two games to win the series, but look, more terrible luck. It's been that type of season for the Mets. I will be at the game tomorrow night. The Mets were kind enough to give me 2 tickets. I appreciate that. Looking forward to it. Should be a nice night tomorrow. But, man, just bad luck after bad luck after bad luck. And the fans, it's going to be tough for the fans because you've taken their favorite players this year, and now they're dealing with this. So it's just one thing on top of the other. You know what I'm saying? It's still early in the season. I'm not ready to bury the season yet because we've seen teams. The Mets were 22-30 2 years ago and then went on to win almost 90 games and make the NLCS. So we know it can happen. But right now it just doesn't look good because of the injuries mainly. And just the offense, it doesn't look like there's a lot there. Alvarez is now on the shelf too. I forgot about that. He's out he tore his meniscus. He had surgery. Poor kid. But it's just, there's not a lot to hold on to there. So I'll be at the ballpark tomorrow. I'm looking forward to seeing the kids. I haven't seen Ewing. I've only seen Benj live once. So I'm looking forward to that. Christian Scott on the mound, I believe. Let me double check that, but I believe he's on the mound. And for the Yankees, look, Yankees are a really good team. They haven't been playing great ball lately, but you're not going to win every game. Oh, so Brazoban, it's going to be an opener for the Mets. It's going to be one of those bullpen games. Great. Can't wait for that. It's going to be a bullpen game. So we'll see what happens there. But, the Yankees are playing great. Peralta starts Sunday. I was right. The Yankees are playing great. I mean, the Yankees were not playing their best ball recently, but the Yankees are a great team. They're a much better team than the Mets right now. So they should win at least 2 out of 3 in the series. We'll see if the Mets can hang in there and fight in these next 2 games. I'll be out there. I'll be at Citi Field tomorrow night. If you're there, say hello, hit me up, DM me, however you want to find me. But I'll be there with my lady. So I appreciate you guys. I'll be back tomorrow. In the meantime, the shot clock is out.